The next project is CME Group, lighting design firm Schuler Shook, designers Giulio Pedota and Jackson Patterman. CME Group is a financial services firm, and they embarked on the renovation of their headquarters with the main goals of bringing all regional employees into a single location, updating the workplace experience, and positioning the firm within a high-performance collaborative workplace. Designers were challenged to design an entry with a strong first visual impression, leading employees to a vibrant central hub that engages people and technology. An elegant design that showcases the client as a leader and innovator while preserving the company's legacy and history. The owner noted the central hub is such an amazing space and environment for us. It's exciting to see and feel the level of interactions and energy. Linear coves provide general lighting and also assist regional visitors to navigate the different spaces. Restrictions encountered with existing mechanical, electrical, plumbing systems forced the design team to design shallow coves. A high level of craftsmanship and attention to detail were needed to install HVAC diffusers and lighting fixtures side by side in close proximity. Minimal use of downlights provides supplemental lighting, conveying a clean appearance. The lighting design incorporates a dimming system for all of the LED sources, employing vacancy sensors and preset dimming system for all meeting and training rooms. So congratulations, Schuler Shook, accepting the award, Jackson Patterman.
Congratulations, thank you. Thank you. I wanted to say thank you to Light Fair, Kevin Lennon at CME Group for giving us the opportunity. It was an honor to work with HED Architects, and then rounding out the dream team was Tishman Speyer, Prime Electric, and Clune Construction. I think it's worth noting that the domed coves, the literal hundreds of feet of dome coves were all hand plastered by Clune Construction, and I think it's a testament to their talent. So, thanks.
We're recognizing one of our winning projects for the 2021 Tesla Awards, and it's CME Group. It's Giulio Pedota and Jackson Patterman from Schuler Shook. So congratulations on a really wonderful project. And so, how did your lighting design help to accomplish this goal? I mean, what were some of your initial thoughts as you try to create this more collaborative environment?
Yeah, so I mean, the most important aspect of it was to, cause a first impression, both from the sort of visual point of view and from the sort of historical point of view. And then there was the sort of creating an environment that was conducive to, to collaborate. Okay. We did this by first of all, illuminating all the historical relics that the Chicago Board of Trade had, and that were owned by the CME Group. And this is from the old building in downtown Chicago. And all these pieces, historical pieces, came to the lobby and were installed and illuminated by us to celebrate them. In addition to that, in terms of creating a visual impression, we introduced color changing features like the perforated wall that you see in the lobby that changes color. And as you move yourself up the escalators, you will see that we illuminated all the blue panels to create visual interest. The one aspect that we understood very clearly was that there was a lot of employees coming from different parts of the country, and they all meet here, and they don't all necessarily know each other. So we try to, create an environment that provided visual clarity, so that people could identify each other. They could see each other in the rooms, in the collaborating rooms, and they would feel comfortable, to be in the space for many hours that, they were supposed to collaborate. So, and we achieved that by providing broad general lighting that was clean and crisp, 3,500 Kelvin, In conjunction with the finishes of the interior architecture, I think come together very nicely.
You mentioned you had some significant challenges with restrictions on your lighting design because of some of the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. So, can you talk a little bit how you overcame some of these challenges or some of the special hoops you had to go through?
Yeah, when you work on an existing space, you find all kinds of MEP systems above those ceilings. So a lot of our initial design had to be modified when the engineers went to the field with the architects and started to opening up the ceilings and seeing that there were ducts and pipes everywhere. So our strategy was to keep it simple and very deliberate. There was, nothing superfluous about the design. Every light had a specific function because we couldn't add anything extra because of the conflicts that we had. We also, we were very keen on the coves as an element of lighting in the spaces, and in some cases we had to push the limits and create these really shallow coves in order to avoid the conflict with the ducts that were existing in the space. And the undulating cove that you see there is one that I think we're very proud of, because the height of that cove is like 4.5 inches. And we were always concerned that, how is this going to look even and project adequate lighting if it's so shallow, And so we did a mock-up, and it worked out perfectly, because it's not only undulating on the horizontal plane, but there's a dome-shaped cove that also travels with the undulation of the cove. So on top of that is shallow in itself. So we were very happy with the result of that specific, lighting element, considering all the restrictions. So
you mentioned that these lighted coves were utilized to assist visitors to kind of navigate throughout the space. So is that something you thought of up front, or was this just kind of a nice result of the coves that you integrated into the space?
That idea came from the interior designers. I think the role of the lighting design was to enhance and reinforce that cove with lighting. But I have to say that it was a brilliant idea coming from HED architects, because it does allow people to navigate the space, indicating that there is more, in the background of this large space. So it kind of invites you to go, to the back of the space where there is the sort of coffee and meeting tables.
Oh, that's great. In the Tesla Awards, trying to showcase projects where collaboration really played an important role or added so much benefit. So that's a great example of that for sure. What kind of feedback have you gotten on the lighting design from the owners and other occupants of the space?
Yeah, I mean, we're very proud of this job, because the feedback has been a little bit overwhelming, to be frank. Everybody really loves the visual aspect, the functional aspect, the aesthetics aspect. I mean, it's the typical, expression we get from the end user and the owner. It's like, Julio, this looks really good. We're very happy with it, and so, and I think the images speak for themselves.
One of the things you talk about is the color changing you did in the entry areas. I'm curious, did you consider going to tunable white at all throughout the spaces? Is the first part of my question. And the second part is clearly there's a lot of daylight. Did you do any automated shading in the area? And I imagine to meet code, you'd have to do daylight responsive controls as well.
Yeah, so the code. I'm going to answer the second question. The code requires for all lighting, that is closer or close to the windows, to be dimmable, and so all that lighting automatically dims. Okay, with the daylight, and that's mostly in the main space towards the back. Okay, what we did is also we matched the color temperature. Uh, we used that 3,500 Kelvin to closely match daylight, or sort of, be more neutral with daylight. And the use of tunable white is not something that the client wanted to entertain. The client really likes simple, functional solutions, and I think is one of the reasons why the design was very simple but very strategic. And in the introduction of the color changing feature at the entrance of the space was more so for visual interest. And we thought that, the color in itself, because it goes really from blue to reds, greens, and even pink, was more attractive than just tunable white. Okay.
Yeah, on the Arctura panels that were RGB that you talked about, those were a little at the end of the project. So we didn't consider tunable white for those ever, but I thought that was an enjoyable experience doing some RGB at the end, just adding a little bit of flair, a little bit of color to match the company logo and such.
Yeah, they can select the color. They have a DMX control unit at the back with a color wheel, and they can select, for Cancer Awareness Day, they can go to pink. Any celebration that they want to do, they can select their own color.
That's
We
great.
would have
Thanks.
loved, Jim, that's a good question, because we would have loved to introduce tunable white here to change, the overall appearance of the space based on the time of the day. But this client that likes functional, non-complicated systems, because the reality is that maintaining lighting systems is not their expertise. So I think that when you look at that little recessed downlight adjacent to the HVAC grill, that is called the technical zone, and it is a Chicago plenum, ceiling. So we had to incorporate a 3-inch downlight into a 6-inch technical zone channel, and we didn't know how the contractors were going to mud in the fixture into that channel, because the plate in itself is like almost 7 inches. And so we requested for them to do a mock-up to demonstrate how they were going to install that 3-inch aperture with a 7-inch, mud-in trim into a channel that is 6-inch wide and closely spaced to the HVAC, grills. And they did a mock-up, and we went and looked at it. We got on top of the ceiling, and we couldn't see, how they did it, because there's a big Chicago plenum box above it. But when we looked from beneath, we're like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. That would be one challenge. The other challenge, I think, is the coves in itself, because, we went down the path of working with Armstrong ceilings to achieve, an undulating cove that also had a dome-shaped surface above it. And when the price, they did it, when the price came back, it was really expensive. And so we had to turn it over to the contractor and see how they could assist us in fabricating it, in a more inexpensive way. And they did it literally with gypboard and some sort of a mud-in, method. That when they did the mock-up, we were like, this is it. And, how much does it cost? Well, it was, a fraction of the cost of what the ceiling manufacturing was proposing. So.
Any particular manufacturers that you'd like to mention that you used extensively throughout this project?
Yeah, so the downlights, which are very nice, and they have a beautiful appearance, they're from Tech Lighting Element. The coves, which we were very, very happy with the product. We conducted a mock-up with 3 different manufacturers because we needed to do the undulating curve of the cove, and we wanted good quality of light with high color rendition and so forth. They came from EcoSense, and it's the trough 35. And then I think all the linear LED fixtures were from Acolyte lighting, which also is what's illuminating all the blue panels inside the meeting rooms. And we were also very happy with the quality of light from that particular system. So
Thank you so much, and congratulations again on a wonderful lighting design. And we'll look forward to seeing more entries from you, perhaps in the 2022 Tesla Awards.
yeah,
So again,
thank you so much. We appreciate
thank
you
you.
recognizing the hard work and the attention of detail that we put into this project.